church, and for us, the die was cast. And those years of separation became a dim memory of the past. Finally, our friendship was at last back in its true place, and we enjoyed our reconnection through God's amazing grace. As a charter member, at Midland Heights Church was truly loved by Beth, and I believe she really exhibited that until her last breath. Beth loved God, her family, and her church members so dearly, and often spoke of each one lovingly and fairly. You see, we never thought to put other folk down because we were too busy making sure that we would gain a crown. Our friendship was built on our faith in God. At times, our conversations went where angels might fear to trod. You see, we dug deeply and just pulled up the hard truth and digested not only the flower, but the stem, and yes, also the root. We would get on the phone and dissect the lessons as friend to friend, and that was in recent times when our senior Sabbath school class had come to an end. I can tell you that Beth let Jesus lead her all of the way, and this is my truth that I tell you today. Beth's name may not be written in the annals of this earth, but I can assure you that it's in God's book and is far beyond man's worth. Oh yes, her name's written down, her mansion is ready. She has kept her faith in God, and her hope was sure and steady. The day is soon coming when in the air Beth will be raised to meet her Lord and Savior, whom she consistently praised. Her work is now over. Her battle has been won, and the service she was handed has been faithfully done. But what about us? Can we confidently claim the same? Are we ready for God to joyfully call our name? I believe Beth went to sleep praying that each of us will be caught up together with her to live in heaven eternally. So family, friends, let's be there. Let us be there. Amen and amen.
Good afternoon, family. One day, I was at Midland Heights Church. I don't even remember if it was for church or for a funeral or for whatever reason, but I was walking down the aisle, and Beth stops me and says, "You know you're singing at my funeral." Honestly, I was upset with the thought, to be honest. I was like, why would you say that to me? But here we are, and a song that we're going to sing is something that was near and dear to her heart. I hope that you will all sing along with me, as I'm sure that many of you would recognize it. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Say no weapon that is formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Say, God will do what he said he will do. He will stand by his word, and he will come through. Say, he'll do what he said he's gonna do. He will stand by his word, and he will come through. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Said it won't work. Say, God will do what he said he will do. He's not a man that he should lie, and he will come through. Say, he'll do what he said he's gonna do. Stand by his word, yeah. Oh, I won't be afraid of the arrow by day from the hands of my enemies. I will stand my ground with the Lord on my side, for the snares they have set will not succeed. No, they won't succeed. No, no weapon that is formed against me. No way, no way. Say it won't work. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Said it won't work, for I know God will do what he said he's gonna do. He will stand by his word, and he will come through, yeah. God will do what he said he's gonna do. He will stand by his word, and by his word. No, no way, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't, say it won't work. So no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Say it won't work. Don't be afraid of the arrows or the storms set forth by the enemy. Say, if you believe me, say there just ain't one. Say there just ain't one. No weapon formed against me will prosper. No, 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 no. There just ain't one. Say there just ain't one. No, 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 no.
Good afternoon, family and friends. My condolences to my dear sister cousin, all of my family here gathered today. I'm going to be reading Psalms 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, as my Aunt Beth did, He is my refuge, my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Truth shall be our shield and buckler. We will not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at our side, and 10,000 at our right hand, but it shall not come nigh us. Only with our eyes shall we see and behold the reward of the wicked. Because we have made the Lord, which is our refuge, even the Most High, our habitation, there shall no evil befall us, neither shall any plague come nigh our dwelling. For He will give His angels charge over us to keep us in all our ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest we dash our foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon we shall trample under our feet. Because He hath set His love upon us, therefore He will deliver us in all trouble. He will deliver us, and we will honor Him. With long life will we satisfy Him and show Him our salvation. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of His holy word.
Good afternoon. Scandal of grace. Grace, what have you done? Murdered for me on that cross. Accused in absence of a wrong. My sins washed away in your blood. Too much to make sense of it all. 'Cause I know that your love breaks my fall. The scandal of grace, you died in my place, so my soul will live. Oh, to be like you, I'll give all I have just to know you. And Jesus, there's no one beside you. Forever the hope in my heart. Death, where is your sting? Your power's as dead as my sins. The cross has taught me to live. In mercy, my heart now to sing. 'Cause the day and its trouble shall come. And I know that your strength is enough. The scandal of grace, you died in my place, so my soul will live. Oh, to be like you, I'll give all I have just to know you. Jesus, there's no one beside you. Forever the hope in my heart. Oh, to be like you, I'll give all I have just to know you. And Jesus, there's no one beside you. Forever the hope in my heart. And it's all because of you, Jesus. It's all because of you, Jesus. It's all because of your love that my soul will live. Oh, to be like you, I'll give all I have just to know you. Jesus, there's no one beside you. Forever the hope in my heart. Oh, to be like you, I'll give all I have just to know you. Jesus, there's no one beside you. Forever the hope in my heart. And it's all because of you, Jesus. It's all because of you, Jesus. It's all because of your love that my soul will live.
When you live well, you leave hope for those who are left behind, in the words of those who knew you. Beth's former pastor at Midland Heights Church, Ulrich Hetzberger, and his family sent these words of comfort. Ruth and I are saddened to hear of the passing of our beloved Sister Beth. She was a kind and loving woman and had nothing but good to say to everyone. We were all blessed to have her in our lives. You have our condolences, and know that we do not mourn as others who have no hope, for she knew the Lord and rests in the sure hope of the resurrection. We are praying for you and love you. Miss Wanda Grayson, a former colleague and friend of Aunt Beth, says to Heather, Troy, Riley, siblings, extended families, and friends, Stevie and Crystal and your family, I send my heartfelt thoughts, condolences, and sympathy to each one of you. What a blessing and a privilege it was to have known Mrs. Phillips. I knew that she was a part of the Hill family, but I did not share a personal relationship with her until I joined the Bermuda Reserve Police Service in 2006. Mrs. Phillips was the secretary who handled all the paperwork for us, and from the time I first met her, we shared a special bond. Even after she retired from working for the service, we continued to stay in touch. I would call her every so often just to check in on her. She was always excited when she heard my voice, and every so often I would mail her cards to let her know I was thinking about her. Whenever I returned home for a visit, I made sure to visit with her, even though I didn't like the family dog. He always barked at me and prevented me from surprising her because he barked so much. But I certainly wasn't letting that dog hold me back from seeing Mrs. Phillips and the rest of the family. During those visits, Heather would say, "My mama just loves you and talks about you often." I really don't know why she attached herself to me, but I guess God knew that I needed her in my life as she would always encourage me to do my best. I'm eternally grateful to Heather for sharing her mom with me. I'm her sister from another mister. Heather, you and your mom shared an awesome and amazing bond. And I know because of what you had, you will find peace in your heart and think of your mother with fond memories. Be comforted by your memories. Be comforted in the fact that God is always there to hold us in his loving hands with his amazing care. Continue to trust him, never leave him, and he will heal our hearts. Your mother is now resting from her labors, and I will certainly miss talking and visiting with her. But when peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. May God bless you. The Bermuda Ex-Police Association posted this tribute on Facebook to express their sincere condolences to Aunt Beth's family and many friends. We were deeply saddened earlier this week to learn of the passing of our dear friend, Mrs. Clara Elizabeth Phillips. Mrs. Phillips was a secretary in the special branch for many years, but Mrs. Phillips was well known to everyone who worked at police headquarters because of her lovely personality and always friendly smile, even for those of us who did not work in the special branch. Retired Superintendent Andrew Birmingham, who was head of the E department for many years, describes her as follows. Elizabeth was the best of the best and devoted her life to the police and family. Elizabeth worked in special branch as a secretary to the officer in charge and saw firsthand the often tragic events of the 1960s into the 1990s. Loyalty, discretion, good humor, and the ability to work under intense pressure were her hallmarks. She was awarded the Queen's Certificate and Badge of Honor in 1993. At home, she devoted herself to caring for her disabled husband. A life of devoted service to family and Bermuda. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. This tribute was submitted by Tarina Rollins. Hi, Heather. I'm sorry that I cannot be there today with you and your family, but please know that you are all definitely in my thoughts and prayers. There are very few words that one would say under these circumstances to alleviate the pain, anger, denial, or confusion that one experiences during this grieving period. However, I would like to extend my thoughts and feelings to express ways that may help comfort and assure you as you maneuver through this unfortunate time in your life. I know I'm talking to the converted, but sometimes we, the converted, also need to have it reiterated to us as a friendly reminder. Two of my favorite sayings are, everything happens for a reason, and it's not what you're going through, but how you deal with it. I'm also a big advocate of saying, it's all about conditioning your mind, and everything starts with a thought. We may not understand it or know what the reason may be at the time, but that's when we have to sit back, reflect, and condition our minds to become conscious. I know it's difficult, but try to be more conscious of the good memories while celebrating the life of your mother. Focus on the positive and favorable times you spent together as you celebrate her life's journey. Your consciousness becomes your reality. I love you as a sister. You are family, always and forever. Hey, Hattie. I know the next couple of days are going to be very difficult for you. It's not easy laying a parent to rest. Aunt Beth, your beloved mom, and my second mom was very special and still is and will always be. I spent a lot of time at your house, and with all your mom had to deal with looking after Uncle Quentin, I knew it must not have been easy for her, but she never grumbled or complained. Instead, she would just make a joke and carry on. She had a quiet but strong spirit. She was soft-spoken, gentle, and kind, but firm if she needed to be. I will always remember the time when she told us if anybody at school tries to mess with us, kick them in their knees, and that will make them drop. Do you remember that? and she made delicious mac and cheese, gingerbread, and banana bread. I had the sweet tooth, you not so much. And her jokes. She always had a serious face when telling her jokes. And then she would laugh at the end. Your mom's memories will live on forever inside of us. I pray that you will feel God's peace and the peace that passes all understanding. God will carry you through tomorrow and the years to come, until the great and getting up morning when we meet him face to face and are reunited with our loved ones. Frankie and I love you dearly and will be praying for you, Troy, Stevie and his family, and Rye. Give them all a hug from me and let them know I'm sorry I couldn't make the trip due to health reasons. May God be with you all. Your cousin, Paulette Burford. So it is at times like these, times when we gather together with friends and family to commiserate or grieve, to take a moment to think of all the things that we're grateful for, and to thank those people who have had a great impact on our lives or who have been support for us through everything. So the family of Clara Elizabeth Phillips would like to express special and heartfelt gratitude to their very special friends, Donald and Francine McMahon. We wanted Mom to reach her 100th birthday, and for more than 5 years, the McMahons assisted us with this goal by buying and delivering fresh vegetables. Throughout the many years, they accommodated our last-minute transportation requests without restriction. If ever we needed them, they were there to support us. This type of special family is rare and appreciated mightily, and we just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you publicly. Okay, now for the family tribute. There are quite a few things I did not know about Aunt Louise and Aunt Shirley's sister, Troy and Heather's mama, Stevie, Crystal, and Riley's nana, Sequoia, Sanaya, and Israel's granny, our Aunt Beth, and our friend. You may not have known these things either. Did you know Aunt Shirley's sister traveled extensively, setting her foot on every continent except one? Can you guess which? Aunt Louise remembers her sister visited China, Fiji, Australia, Switzerland, France, Canada, Egypt, New Zealand, Argentina, Panama, and she's been around the world, she said. Did you know Heather's mama was a highly skilled seamstress? She even worked on a part-time basis for Bamboo Gate, getting paid by the piece to make and alter the store's clothing. Heather, of course, found ways to put her mother's talents to work closer to home. Well, at home, really. When she wasn't buying Heather the finest clothing, she was sewing them like the bottle green velvet-lined overcoat. And if that wasn't enough, Heather had her making clothes for her friends, too. She convinced her mama to make a 3-piece suit for a high school classmate, recalling, "She made it in warp speed. I was so proud." Did you know Stevie and Riley's nana was a master guide? Aunt Beth joined the Midland Heights Church Maranatha Pathfinder Club with her sister, Aunt Louise. But it wasn't enough for her to be an explorer, a ranger, or a voyager. Oh no, she became a master guide, a program at the highest level of Adventist Youth Ministries for the development of youth leadership in the SDA Church. Aunt Beth and her sister led the Pathfinder Club for a good many years, executing the Master Guide's pledge to take an active part in adventurers, pathfinders, and youth ministries by doing what she could in order to finish the work of the gospel in all the world. Did you know Aunt Beth was a table tennis champion? Yes, I said it, table tennis. She whooped her male counterparts in numerous Saturday night matches played during her time at West Indies College, where she earned a secretarial certificate. She also went to Canadian Union College, where she completed a teacher's certificate. Perhaps she was taught how to school those West Indian upperclassmen in ping pong there. If not, no matter. Aunt Beth used her teaching degree, albeit briefly, and likely made a lasting impression on all of her students. How about this? Did you know Aunt Beth liked to play Scrabble? Do you know how many words in the Scrabble dictionary start with X? 69. I wouldn't be surprised if Aunt Beth knew this. I'm pretty sure she knew all the 4-letter, 3-letter, 2-letter word plays. Every self-respecting Scrabble player would, and she was a self-respecting Scrabble player. Loved you, she may have, but she played to win. Did you know Uncle Daniel's aunt rode a motorbike? A mobilette? I cannot imagine my prim aunt straddling a bike seat, smashing a helmet over her every hair in place called Fure, and revving the gas before nipping around Crawl and into and out of the 3rd lane. But ride she did, and as Heather recalls, quite well. That must be the reason Uncle Daniel got her to teach him. We know he only likes the best. So listen closely if you need some expert tips on riding too. When you come to a corner, you have to lean, she instructed. When you come to a hill, you have to change gears. Sage advice for riding and for life from our fierce but gentle relative who readily shared her experience and wisdom. Did you know Aunt Beth wanted to make America great again? Well, she was a fan, make that anti-fan, of Donald Trump. She loved watching any news coverage about Trump. After watching, she'd say, that man's crazy. Even his hair. He definitely woke up and got out of bed without combing his hair. Then she'd debate with Aunt Deborah and other family members about how he got away with, let's just say, such nonsense and such hair. Did you know Lois, Andre, Dave, and Patrice's aunt was funny? During her final week, she broke her arm. When Heather asked her how it happened, she answered, I didn't see the person. And at Sequoia's graduation dinner, she remarked to I'm not sure who, maybe Coy, thanks, they never let me out. Such was her sense of humor, a dry wit she shared with her siblings and some of their children. Did you know Aunt Beth liked food? All food, entrees freshly delivered from the Walk Express that her grands didn't like, to the not-so-new leftovers hanging out in the fridge. Her great-grands and grands would not eat food that had been in the refrigerator for longer than one day. She, like so many of her generation, I'm assuming, and mine, since I grew up doing the same thing, put those 2 days and counting leftovers to the nose test. After her container of food passed her olfactory examination, she'd say, there's nothing wrong with this. Warm it up for me. She did not like wasting food, and perhaps that's why she didn't mind leftovers. But her food had to be hot, piping hot. So hot, Riley would have to use pot holders to deliver the food to her. And she had to have her particular fork. Sometimes Riley would give her a substitute, but Aunt Beth wasn't having it. Riley would have to go back to the kitchen and find Aunt Beth's favorite fork. I guess she was a picky eater after all. Nevertheless, she wouldn't just sit around expecting to be waited on. Troy's mother-in-law teamed up with his mother to clean up the kitchen every evening. I'm sure she was especially grateful to clean up after Troy made potato salad, the best in the world. We already know she traveled extensively, so let's just take her word for it. But really, Aunt Beth, sometimes she could barely walk and hopped or hobbled around the kitchen to get the job done. Aunt Ju's friend always insisted on doing her part, insisted on making life easier for her family and those around her. Her nephew Luke knew just who to call when he needed someone's confidence and help. Her siblings counted her sister the best sister they could ever have. She poured time into her grand and great-grandchildren, taking care of Stevie, whom she called Stew Boy, during his early years, and never seeing any wrong in him in his later years. Caring for Riley whenever she was sick and patiently listening to everything she had to say, screaming and then laughing with Crystal whenever one of the dogs touched them, expressing confidence in Sequoia and promising to attend his high school graduation. She did, remember? They let her out for that one. She colored with Izzy after school and gave it her all when she played Who Can Make the Ugliest Face game with Naya. Her family mattered, and her relationship with God mattered. Aunt Beth could often be found listening to the Sabbath school lesson. She told me she'd sometimes do the entire week every day. And on Saturday mornings, Riley would place her Bible and quarterly next to her so that she could be ready for morning manna. She believed, she that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in him will I trust. And Aunt Beth did trust in him. She was faithful, very faithful. She had to be as resilient and strong as she was. She fixed her mind on another time, praying, even so, Lord, come quickly. Let this be our prayer as well, family, to love each other and to be ready for our Lord's return so that we too can see Clara Elizabeth Phillips, our sister, mama, nana, granny, aunt, colleague, friend, never to be parted again.
I am truly humbled by this opportunity to talk to you today. I could handle acknowledgments, obituary, or some other cameo part. But the eulogy? Heather is truly in a class of her own. Who would ask her